had like some pressure and then that got relieved by Lucid, that's a problem, you know? I think we need to see more cohesion in KT Rolster. And it starts with the draft.
It does.
The game too.
As it generally does, time and time again. It is going to be KT once again choosing blue side. They had right of side selection in game number 1 as well, also choose blue side. And so it is just going to be the same setup as we had in the last game, but with a whole bunch of picks now taken away.
Yeah, maybe a winning bottom lane is what they get their hands on this time, and they can play through that with Cuz, and he's a little bit more unlocked. As with the Orianna and Victor gone, the Cassiopeia will
I think
rise
you need
up.
to. Don't you need to ban Ryze as well? Now that you've banned Cass?
Well, because they have first pick, I think that is a strong ban at this point in time, but then you leave Karma up, so
yeah.
Then you don't have the winning bottom lane that you wanted. And Smash loves playing the Caitlyn Karma lane. He's a big enjoyer of that. Probably would enjoy the Ezreal Karma as well if that was left available, but we'll see. Yorick is an interesting one here. A lot of respect to a...
Are we first picking Jace?
I don't think so.
In my brain, that's what Yorick, like, ban says.
That's what I think as well, but... I mean, Perfect had great Yorick games. I just don't think you necessarily need to first pick Jace, but it does mean that maybe they're baiting Perfect into playing Jace as well, and they have another answer.
I have no idea. It's a very weird decision.
So
as the Ryze first pick, it's got to be Ryze first pick, right?
I think so.
Unless it's just Jarvan. Oh, maybe it just has to be Jarvan. I don't know.
I think Ryze first pick is stronger.
I really like the Ryze first pick angle.
Kind of fumbling here in this one, in my mind, for KT as to what they took away. Like, Career's Bard deserves respect. It is an incredibly strong pick, but they are going to ultimately go with this, it looks like. Even though Lucid had a great game 1, they're not going to give him the Jarvan instead.
Yeah,
Taking Ryze away from BDD also feels quite powerful.
I would agree. And I also think that you've still got some decent jungle options to go with as well. It was Xin and Wukong that were played in the last game, and obviously the Nocturne has been banned away, but otherwise the whole pool is still up and available.
They put aiming on camera because I think they're thinking, production is thinking maybe this is just a slam Lucian lane here, but I think Jarvan is so powerful, maybe you go like Milio Jarvan, or you just go Taliyah.
All right, Taliyah Vi.
All right.
All right, we are just trying to make sure that the KT mid-jungle is going to work. The problem is, you lock this in, then you give the Jarvan over to D+, so they lock, what, Jarvan Jace? I guess?
I think that's what their plan is based on the Yorick ban.
Yeah.
And that also means that we'll probably see Sion picked for Perfect here in this third spot, but if you're putting Perfect, who's... I know this sounds crazy, but arguably KT's best player right now on Sion, I feel like that's a win. You know, he's not going to be able to do the playmaking stuff we saw from him in a tough game state on Rumble on Sion. Probably, right? I mean, it's just not the same type of thing. So they will end up with the Jace and the Jarvan here, and I imagine we'll see that Sion counter pick here for the top lane, but they're going to need a lot of power. Oh, looking for instead potentially the Cassante here. That's a little bit more playmaking. That's a little bit more perfect build.
I also feel like it's a very similar style, a similar vibe to the Sion. You're still providing a front line to your team. I think KT are going to be relying on aiming to do a lot of damage throughout this game, though. I think that there's a lot of utility in the Taliyah, but she doesn't do a massive amount of damage.
So maybe a Lulu ban here could set you up for, if you want to go for the Lucian route, which they have a lot of setup for, that works well.
As a Ziggs.
Ziggs ban, also similar veins, very successful at giving you a lot of power there on the bottom side, and also just allowing you to not just get wrecked by massive range here for D+ Kia with the Jace they already have, and the Realm Warp, global power plus bomb from a million miles away is very annoying to deal with.
Well, let's see what the bans are going to be on D+'s side, as they do need to eliminate a bottom lane, but what do they want to take away? That's my question.
It seems like a Lucian ban is very safe because they have all the setup for Lucian, but they're the ones who ban the Lulu instead. Because there's two ways to play this, right? You play for the tempo Lucian type of draft here for KT and try to use your single target pick to get that ahead, or you go for the damage option you were talking about, where you have the scaling Yunara, for example, which is what D+ are thinking that KT are going for here with the Lulu ban.
So Lulu to be taken away, you could just take away the Melio after that. It would make the Lucian a lot more awkward to play. Obviously, it is what they want to be playing into this Jarvan. Ezreal's still available as well, something that we haven't mentioned, but with Bard and Karma both taken away, then it makes it a little bit more difficult to play the Ezreal, I guess.
Yeah, and there's... I mean, I guess you could play like Ezreal Leona. You could save that counter pick for support and see what you're up against. or otherwise just go for something more ranged. But this is like exactly like D+'s draft here is so linked to what I'm thinking, because like you're either going to scale or you're going to play tempo. I'm going to take both of those options away from you, and now what are you going to do? You can't go all in on either ground here because you don't have the Lulu, and there's no Enchanter support that's going to allow aiming to be empowered, and you can't go for the Lucian lane. So they'll just take the Caitlyn, but this leaves a rocky mid-game for KT Rolster now.
Yeah, so a Caitlyn Lux lane would be a lot of power, but does Smash Career just lock like Mel Pike? Do you just do it? You've got a Jace in the top lane. There's a fair bit of physical damage already represented, and you could really slam the mid game with a combination like that. We've seen it work very effectively.
Yeah, I don't think you want to play Ezreal here. I do think the Mel is the best meta option. And if you were deeper and Fearless, you could have been a little bit more creative here. You could have gone for like a Callista lane or something, but you don't need to reinvent the wheel at this point.
Wait.
Partner support.
This is a bit of fun. This was something that B&K FearX brought out for the first time. And instead, we're looking somewhere else. Korea just cycling through a bunch of weird options. Obviously, he's got the Camille in his back pocket.
Zac support, I don't think so.
Yeah, I also don't know about the Elise necessarily. But let's see what they do decide to do. It's going to be Shen.
Okay, so what we saw yesterday, by the way, phenomenal performance from him yesterday. He's giving them so much draft flexibility. He really is.
Yeah, and they've got Shiu as well. So it's kind of insane, the like breadth of champions. We know that Showmaker, like, he's the one that's played Renekton mid, Tryndamere mid, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Gotta be Lux, right? I don't think there's really anything else that works here for this comp, unless they wanted to go something crazy like Leona and go super all in on pick.
Well, this is the thing with the Shen there. I feel like it makes it more difficult, right? Like, you play a Lux, then you're just a target
you're
for
just so weak.
Like a taunt flash into a flag and drag. You're just dead. So it's going to be the cow that comes out for KT. They have a lot of setup CC now. The problem is the mid game is just going to be rough, man.
It's awful mid game, and this Alistar pick weakens. Like, you went for the Caitlyn, and then you're like, ooh, better go Alistar because there's a Shen down here. So you ended up being like, I've got maybe a winning bottom lane. Then you're like, ooh, not necessarily actually. And you have a lot of pick for the mid game. Oh wait, the Caitlyn's in the trough. You know, she's not going to be ahead. She's not going to be able to do that much damage just yet. I feel like once again, D+ ran kind of circles around KT in this draft. They got the Ryze first pick, and now they have global power amongst so much long-range, consistent damage output.
Yeah,
I'm worried for KT.
I am too, but for those at home that really do want that true roller coaster ride, I think we're on the dip right now. And so maybe, even though this draft phase didn't necessarily go so well, maybe we are about to get to the bottom, where things start to go up and we start to scream and go woo and all that sort of stuff, and we're wondering what's going to happen next on this beautiful ride that we have lined up for hours to get on. D+, they might do something else. They might just throw this train off the tracks completely and claim a match point advantage for the next few games. See how it goes. We get into the Rift. All right. Lucid with the Cyanide skin and Cuz with the Team Rocket skin. Pretty cool stuff. As Showmaker and BDD facing off here. We've seen the Taliyah find some success into the Ryze. You do generally have a pretty good advantage when it comes to range with those threaded volleys.
He did really thread that one just there.
He did.
We got the damage off. This lane is incredibly volatile. If it does what aiming and effort want it to do, they have to play incredibly aggressively like this.
Oh, there's the taunt to come down. Effort utilizing the Aftershock quite nicely, though, as Korea took a lot of damage before his went off.
So you have the higher damage output with the 80 carry, right? Because Smash is cooldown based. So you basically need to constantly be hitting the enemy champions and not the minions when these trades happen, as aiming, if you even miss one auto, you're not doing as much as you could be doing to put the pressure on in these level 1 trades. Hits that Q there on the Smash. And this matchup is definitely one that can be won by the Alistar. Another trade here.
A decent taunt does come on down as we're trading Aftershocks over and over again. Both Effort and Korea are on a very similar health total. Smash missing a few farm here, as we can see only 4 to the 11 that Aiming's been able to put together, but they do have a wave crashing on forward.
I do think that Mel bot lane is a lot more punishable than I think we've seen a lot of teams be able to do. BDD in
the
trouble.
Flash Prison comes down, takes all of the rocks, does Lucid, but they flash after him, and Showmaker picks up first blood.
And they had vision of where Cuz was, and they knew they could pull this off. That Raptor Ward getting a ton of value here for D+. Oh
man, I'm getting flashbacks though, Wolf. This is what happened to Roma yesterday.
This is so bad for KT in this early game that this happened. And it's once again, Lucid just running the whole show.
Oh dear. Well, Lucid certainly on some form here so far. It's reminding me of Challenger Lucid, you know, the guy that just could not miss when it came to the early game.
Actually did not have vision of Cuz when this started. I saw him on the minimap on Raptors there. Cuz just left BDD out to dry. He's like, I can't save you.
Well, we've got another engage here towards the bottom side. His Effort taking a fair bit of damage, but so is Smash. Aiming still with a bit of an advantage, I'm pretty sure, when it comes to farm, as they push another wave in. So pressure advantage here in this bottom side for KT. But D+, after that first blood, move up to a 600 gold lead. And the Jace is doing Jace things on the top side of the map as well. Like, Shiu is still just going to be having a great time on the Jace in the early stages of this matchup.
Cuz wants to make a pass here, but with the wave state the way it is.
No flash for either mid laner. And BDD just going to come on over and take a crab.
He had the rocks set perfectly right. He knew exactly the angle Lucid was going to approach on, the flag and drag. He thought he could maybe flash out. Cuz was nearby, but just opted to say, I'm not committing this. And we've seen Cuz commit so many times to these silly 2v2s, right? That BDD has gotten involved in, and it's backfired. And maybe that's part of why he just decided, I'm not even going to try to turn this one around, but really hurts the tempo here for KT in this early game where they need to be in so much more control than they are.
Well, Korea going to try and taunt away, and Effort is going to rotate over. This is actually a bit of a worry, as Korea does have to flash. Does get himself out of there, but that is a lot of power now given over to KT towards this bottom side of the map, with Korea being somewhat of a target.
I think if you're aiming right now, if the bottom lane turns into a 1v1, you're very happy with that, as you're just able to continue to put the pressure onto this Mel. See, Effort comes down in the bottom lane to maybe try to collapse while Career is backing there and punish. We might actually get a shot of that. He's like, you see on the map, he's like right behind him, but not actually going to commit. They're too far away. Waits so long.
Yeah,
like I'm minimap casting right now, but there was a real angle there that he did not commit for.
Well, Lucid looking again for an angle towards BDD. Showmaker going to get shoved back. Maybe they use that as an opportunity as the Q is going to miss. Now BDD going to have to try and get out of here, but Lucid will just be able to catch him very comfortably, and nothing BDD could do.
He's super mad, you could tell as well.
Yeah.
And like Cuz just wasn't there. He's again just gonna be like, well, guess I'll do Raptors. And it's just really easy when when you're in range of Showmaker's root there for the Jarvan to follow up.
Yeah.
We saw the exact same play twice. This time much easier because there's no flash for BDD. So like, look where he is right now. Look at all the vision they have as well.
Yep. Showmaker just walks up, and Lucid does too, and BDD's like, well, hang on, what am I supposed to do? I think I'm just gonna, I'm gonna take the thumbs up from Lucid and go home.
The wave is in such a bad spot for BDD in that situation. You know, he has to be that far up to farm, but you know, maybe as Cuz you have to sacrifice a little bit of your farming and kind of hang out in the mid lane to make sure that doesn't happen. Because Lucid's going to take every opportunity he can get. He's proven that already this series.
DK are right now undefeated in Road to MSI. The other Road tournament that they did more recently wasn't necessarily as good when they got to best of fives. This time around working out quite nicely. However, Korea just going to get headbutted into Narnia. Let's see whether he's going to survive. His Effort does not, and Korea does! The threaded volley is blocked, and Smash actually able to throw a few back towards BDD. That's a pretty optimistic back here from Korea. The flash forward from Smash, looking to try and get on top of the Talir, and down goes BDD once again. DK, you cannot keep everyone alive! Oh no, KT, the flash from Cuz, but he's right on top of Smash, who executes him. Aiming now in an awkward spot, as that was a bit weird from Lucid, but should be able to get another Q, and there it is. Down goes the Caitlyn. Shiu, I mean, maybe Perfect can find an angle as he's gone all out, and Shiu able to boop him back, and then Perfect kills him. So at least KT, the perfect game has been taken away from DK.
Remember what I said at the beginning of the day? Whoever wins game one, probably going to 3-0. It feels real right now.
Oh,
this
God,
is the kind
yeah.
of series I expected. The tension's so high. Both these teams playing so emotionally. They say there's very few things you should do when you get emotional, right? Like when you're feeling the tilt, you know, put the game down. Don't go for a motorcycle drive, you know. In this game, I feel like you could really feel, just like game 1, how frustrated KT are. They're like, we will make this work, and D+ are like, you can't actually make this work. We're just going to kill all of you, and they don't know when to stop. Like Gaming's like, maybe I can all link this together. They're all so low, and they just keep sending it in, and this ends the game. Like, they could have just been like, oh, we got caught here, we lose one more, but let's play through mid-game. We've got a lot of pick potential. We're super behind in this game. It's not great, but we could have just walked away. Instead, they thought they could maybe turn that around and flip the game on it, and they lost. And Perfect does get this kill here, but in the grand scheme of things, it feels like it means very little.
It feels pretty top laner, as Perfect is like, oh man, I just got a solo kill, guys. How's things going? And no one really says anything, and then you realize what has happened elsewhere on the map.
When the surrender vote comes in, you know, like one says red. You're like, I think that's perfect. He's like, I can still carry this game.
Oh God, it's too real, Wolf. And now D+, they have control absolutely everywhere. Even topside, to be perfectly honest, I imagine Shiu is still pretty comfortable, as he had a decent CS lead before he died. And it's only 150 gold or something like that. Had taken a plate already.
I just want to keep the perspective of KT Rolster and its fan base here to everyone. I want to give it, remind everyone, this team was, at the beginning of this year, looking like they could be the best year of KT ever. It looked like they were
They could have beaten everyone in round 1.
Yeah,
they lost one match.
They were so close to the perfect round. They were incredibly dominant. We'd never seen KT this dominant since 2023, where they got first place in regular season in summer, and then made the wrong choice. And history is everyone remember the history. Everyone remembers that.
They haven't even chosen T1 this season, though, Wolf.
But like, they went from that after, by the way, almost winning Worlds. Being BDD and being like, we were very close to winning Worlds. Now we're the best team at the beginning of the year. To we're getting dunked on by D+ in this best of 5, and it's not even close. And I think that it comes with a certain mental weight and frustration, which you could see on BDD's face when he is killed in the middle. He's 0-3.
Oh no, the level 5 Alistair here is in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage, as we do have the QE from Lucid just trying to get some damage down onto Effort as he gets underneath his turret.
And this game, I'm doing like narrative stuff about how this series is over at 9 minutes into game 2, because it just feels like to come back from this situation after getting completely destroyed in game 2, way more than game 1. To come back in this game sounds like out of the question, but to come back in the series after a loss here, I mean...
It also sounds tough.
It sounds like it's going to require a mental fortitude that's made of something stronger than bricks, maybe made of diamond.
Yeah.
To be able to right the ship after this one, as it's been a disaster here for KT Rolster.
Well, BDD trying to hold on here in this mid lane. A level down and close to 900 gold as well. Showmaker in a really good spot. Back with his flash once again. BDD does have his. As Shiu
respecting.
Spidey senses were tingling.
Yeah, he's like, something's not right. We're deep in their jungle, and there's no Vi. So I am just going to back away. And Smash is just like, well, cool, I'll take plates.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, this is the control DK got, and Shiu answers accordingly, right? Understanding that KT are probably going to try and cross-map.
Exactly. Just really good overall game sense and macro here from D+. It's not giving KT any ins in this game.
And this is why I think a lot of people have been frustrated with DK throughout a lot of this year. Because we know they are capable of this level of macro play.
Yes.
Like, even in that skirmish in the river, you could tell that the communication was crisp, right? Like, they get a rune prison down, everyone's already aiming at their target. And this is, once again, like, Shiu is moving out of the way because they have pressure down here. The ebb and flow of how this team can work just makes all of those times where they completely collapse all that more frustrating.
Yeah. And, like, when you go back to even Road to EWC for KT, it was incredibly disappointing run for them. Like, they got demolished by Hanjin Brion, who they also had recently lost to in the LCK. It just feels like all of these losses are stacking up, and KT were on top, but they did not get better like everyone else. So Smash is potentially in danger here.
Yep. He's going to try and wander his way out. He just teleported, and as it turns out, you can just kind of walk.
Well, Lucid is here too, so they have the cover. And 2v3, I think they feel pretty confident in this one.
Lucid now just going to come over, clear out all his vision.
Now it's like...
yeah, Smash back in control.
He's just going to clear these waves. He's got his Ludens.
Okay, so that was an attempted play from KT. Didn't quite work out here, as once again, like, this is the frustrating part. It's 12 minutes into the game, and I feel like we're already just reading a eulogy.
Yeah, you and we went to get coffee earlier, and I said, all I want is not games like this.
Yeah.
Where I was like, the game is over in the first 5 minutes, and we have to painfully watch a team get dismantled. And we were wondering, you know, and I said when we actually got on air, like, I want to see one team just completely dismantle the other one, because otherwise, how interesting is that Gen G matchup going to be? But is this D+ completely dominating? I think in some ways, yes, but I think it's KT falling over as well. And that's the sad part of it.
There's
You're hoping
always
for so much more in this series.
There's always yin and yang, you know, Wolf. And you never really understand one without the other. And that's the thing. If DK are really going to level up, and maybe KT are just not going to be prepared for it. But the other side could certainly be true, as KT not necessarily performing at their almost undefeated round robin best selves.
Part of this run for KT, that streak, the near undefeated round robin, I think was their incredible synergy. We praised effort so much, even though his individual play wasn't outstanding, because we're like, well, I guess with him on this team, they communicate, they coordinate, they make the right calls together. Their judgment was so strong. That was the thing about KT, their dragon fights, for example, like knowing when to go in, when to leave a dragon, when to punish a dragon take, were so good. I just don't see any even glimpses of that in what we've been seeing from them recently. They're just not coordinated. They don't look like they trust each other like they did before. And now it's a game state where nobody's happy, right? Except Perfect, I guess.
Yeah, Perfect is, he's vibing. He's having a pretty good time. Level advantage here. But that is going to be first brick going over to D+. That is going to only extend that gold lead. And I imagine that there are some watching along. They're like, guys, it's, you know, 13 minutes, close to 14 minutes.
And I would
this
like
game
them to
is not over yet.
I would like them to look at the gold difference over time.
Yeah, and look, not a lot has changed since 6 minutes, you know? So that goes along with it. The problem is, I don't know whether things necessarily get better as Effort. He does have level 6. He does have an unbreakable will. But that headbutt did not help him, and Smash is just going to lock down his second kill.
Smash is like, I guess, do I need to press R? I don't think so.
No.
He's just going to die anyways. I'm going to save that, and we're going to get even further ahead. As this mid turret is now under siege, with no support to defend. Look at where Lucid is, by the way. He's just like taking Cuz's camps while the mid lane turret is falling. And Perfect's like, guys, hold on, I'm ahead. I'm up here, like, he doesn't have his first item yet. You guys, anyone want to play through the Cassante?
Owie. Smash really does hurt.
He does.
Aiming, he's trying to collect, but it's just not quite working here. Don't blame him for the build. Unfortunately, it's just nothing feels good at this point. Goes back, grabs himself a pickaxe. And it is D+ just now trying their very best to very accurately dot I's and cross T's.
I wonder if KT should have just tried to further the Jace deficit. Like, I want to put it that way instead of saying increase Perfect's lead because he's a Cassante. There's some agency there, right? But he is playing a tank, isn't necessarily going to be able to carry. But maybe that pulls D+ around the map. Instead, they've kind of just been trying to hold on to this mid turret and try to hang out and see what farm they can get aiming. Because that's what, for aiming's career, has pretty much been the MO. It's like, oh, just get aiming the farm, he'll do the thing later, it's going to be fine. But it's just not working. Like, the turret is falling down. They're like, we'll scale, we'll scale. I don't know if they scale with this much of a deficit already. With 2 dragons here, Hextech in tow for the double dragon as Xiu almost gets solo kill.
Yeah, BDD actually doing a whole bunch of work. Hit basically everything there.
I mean, Herald maybe on the cards here.
Will be an opportunity. Showmaker moving down towards his bottom side as it's just top laners getting abused at this point.
Showmaker doesn't have
extraordinarily strong. This is so dangerous. Smash moves over, aiming possibly a target, but BDD does move down. There's a headbutt back. They look for the pickup as Lucid secures the Rift Herald, gets the knockup. BDD taken out. Cuz is already dead, and that could not have gone worse for KT.
They gave Lucid the smite, basically. They were like, here, let me put you on the Herald for this one. He's just going to drop it just like he did in game 1, and he's going to take out this mid turret. Their second of the game.
Oh my goodness, that Rift Herald already becoming a problem here. As it might even be able to get another charge. As Xiu also just hanging out here on this top side. Perfect trying to do the same thing on the bottom side of the map, and it just feels so much worse. All of the plates going over to D+. It's a 6,000 gold lead already.
So they want to try to get the punish here onto Lucid. Effort makes the call, but they put Lucid on the Herald. He doesn't have to use any of his buttons. He gets the smite and then presses his buttons onto the back line.
Yeah, and gets the double knock-up on the way there.
Like, that was not the right target to engage on. As in live, we maybe have a pick here for KT, maybe.
Yeah, possible angle here is Shiu just trying to get himself out of there. The Rift Herald, the wall does come in from BDD as they take out the Jace. Cuz now in a bit of trouble as Smashes come on in, doing a lot of damage here, but DK not able to actually lock it down any of the kills. Pathmaker great for Perfect, might be able to get himself out as now Korea could be in trouble. BDD throws him back once again. Still Smash is able to lock that one down, and Perfect not going to be able to escape the wrath of the Jarvan. And Showmaker doing what he loves most, and that is hang out in the side lane and take money.
So it's a 2 for 2 with the game state. I think for KT, you wanted more here, but at least you got something.
Yeah, and even trades certainly feel better for KT right now.
It's just, unfortunately, this takes too long here. And that means that there's time for a teleporting Mel, because she took that summoner spell, as she often does, and this fight is so extended that the Mel gets so much value, right? If it was an 80 carry here teleporting in, you know, like if it's a Varus, it doesn't necessarily go as well here, I think, for D+. But this match just given so much time, almost saves, again, career there with the deflect. They end up trading 2 for 2, and Showmaker gets a lot of plates. Now, in the mid lane, Eamon got 2 plates, I believe, on the Caitlyn picked up there, so he got some money, was able to farm freely, but we're grasping at straws here, really. But KT are just like in Game 1, I think, very much aware that this game is going to have to be a send it and pray, and they're just going to keep trying to find angles, because if you just sit back, I mean, D+ absolutely win the game. There is no sit back and scale here. Perfect's got a lot of experience.
I mean, if they sit back for long enough, maybe it'll work. They do have a lot of like late game, like team fighting potential with all the CC that they have available. And they're also going to demonstrate it right now. Cease and Desist is going to connect onto Lucid, but the damage is just not quite there. Ace in the hole came through, but Smash gets over the wall and gets back over the wall once again. Is now Perfect looking for it, and that's a great knock-up though. It's a triple kill for the Mel, and DK, I think, may just be too far ahead. BDD and Aiming, they don't have a turret to get back to, and Aiming, he's able to squeeze through this small bit of gap in the wall, but Smash has found BDD, and there is an ult coming through from Korea, but yeah, that's going to be an ace, and it's clean.
Showmaker, he's just a cheerleader in this game.
He's not even, he's too far away. He's in a different stadium, Wolf.
He's got his megaphone out, and he's like, I hope they can hear me. So here it's a 4v3, but there's no target. Who do you go on? And they just decide to go on to Lucid, who's a fed Jarvan. Who's a Jarvan? So he can kind of get back out, buying a ton of time here. And the triple taunt for Career in a choke point where everyone's just smashed onto 1 pixel on the screen is pretty easy to execute. Smash is able to escape over the wall here and just kite it back, and the DPSs are not able to get linked there to the back line. And now, I mean, everyone is here for D+. Look at the minimap where Showmaker is in the enemy base.
Yeah.
He is killing the minions in the base with a Hexgate escape. Like, he just does not care.
Lucid having a pretty good time, as we can see here as well. I think still at 100% KP. Yes, he is. 16 out of 16, 4-0-12, my God. Shiu, I mean, he's looking to try and get as close to 100% death contribution as possible. He's pretty close. He's never going to be able to catch up, though, unfortunately. That is Aiming, collecting himself a kill. The problem is, inner turret falls down, soul point goes over, and DK control absolutely everything.
And there's not even a way for KT, I think, to safely take that top turret and get the bounty for it, because Showmaker is on the top side of the map.
Oh God, Cuz takes 2 abilities and almost dies. That's what it felt like there. Showmaker is very scary. He's got an actualizer already.
Yeah, if given just an additional moment there for the flag and drag to come through, he does die. And like you said, actualizer completed before Rod of Ages completes. That tells you the game state. He's been just sitting in a side lane farming.
All right.
Yeah, it's... Anything else you guys got production for talking about?
No, I've got it, Wolf, don't worry, I have it. How good would it be, KT setting us up for the most unbelievable, the most miraculous reverse sweep that we've ever had?
Yeah.
Right? You can lose 2 games in a series, right? Then you can get that turnaround and make things happen. Now we have to theorize what they can do to make things better moving into Game 3 based on fearless drafting, right?
I think, for one, you know, playing through trying to get a tempo lead is not it. for this team today with how Lucid is playing. You're just not going to get ahead. Maybe playing a scaling draft, like put aiming on Smolder and just play slow. That could be a thing, right? You know, I know Smolder's been nerfed like 17 times in a row, but could still work.
Yeah.
Because these, I'm going to be aggressive, except Cuz isn't aggressive in the early game and Lucid runs circles around him. I think drafts are not probably the play. And then just also play slow. Maybe play through perfect. Maybe that's a plan. If you want to be aggressive, give him a pick he can pop off on and get him ahead. The Yorick ban worked a treat here in this draft for D+. Their drafting has been so good in this series so far.
And it's sometimes been something that we've been hypercritical about DK4. This time around, no notes. Certainly having a very nice performance. Speedy trying to do a Showmaker's push. Smash could be the target here as he just goes golden to make sure that Cuz cannot ult him. And Headbutt Pulverize does come in, but the Peacemaker goes back towards KT. And Effort, he's got an unbreakable will. They might be able to find Showmaker here, who does flash himself away, but it's still the kill. Over to aiming. Now the Pathmaker from Perfect is KT. They may have just found their window. They take out Lucid. And DK, it's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of KT.
But what can they get from this is the real question. They can't do Baron. That's a bridge way too far.
I mean, they cut down the gold lead. I mean, we're going to say that that's a good thing regardless.
They got the kills there, and then they're like, all right, maybe we can clean up the top lane wave finally. As this initially, the setup here for KT is not that great, right? Smash has his arm guard, and then Effort's like, I'm going to go on this, I guess. And Aiming's like, we do not have the damage. But then when Perfect and BDD show up, D+ have thought they've weathered the storm. They go in. Showmaker goes way too deep. And they end up getting that kill here, and then with the numbers advantage and all the CC lockdown, they deny Lucid's flag and drag away. They take him out. He Cataclysm's almost out of despair.
Yeah, but the Cataclysm did not do enough, and by that, it did not do anything.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but
there's a chunk out of the gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, KT did play well there. They punished, and D+ I think were not ready for the teleport and the Weaver's Wall to come through, and then they just lost the numbers game. So you do that, like, I don't know, 8 more times.
Aiming, scaling, you know, getting towards item number 3. There's no true tank on the side of DK. Doesn't necessarily need to rush Armor Pen or anything like that.
I'm enjoying your Hopium.
I mean, what else do we have?
I know.
Besides hope.
Production keeps putting up these numbers, and I'm like, don't show those.
Cease and desist. She would like if they cease and desisted killing him over and over again, but KT are going to say, nope, this is the avenue we have.
They do this at a good timing before the dragon spawns. Otherwise, D+ would just be like, cool, you killed him and we got another dragon. And it's rinse and repeat where we now have Hextech Soul and you're doomed because we have a long-range comp and you're going to be slowed the whole game.
I mean, there is unfortunately like a teleport on Shiu, so he can teleport straight back in any dragon fight.
I just mean, like, at least they got, there's no like real cross map here for D+. They couldn't push all the way in and get an inhibitor with this Rise on the other side of the map. So it's a win with no trade-offs here for KT. It's just a straight-up win, and that's a good thing. It's almost impossible this far behind to make those types of plays work. So D+ dropping the ball a little bit on that one, and no protection there for Shiu, who was the target. They're just going to do Baron here,
well, it was
or maybe
on
not.
Vision, so Cuz just going to have to get himself out of there. And teleport in from Shiu as he does respawn. Down to a 7,000 gold lead, though. That gold lead is being cut down 4,000. At this point, Cuz goes back to the Baron.
Showmaker can roam warp in, but this is a really thin timing.
I mean, honestly, Baron for Hextech Soul, I would take Hextech Soul.
I would too, but I think you don't have a choice if you're KT. There's a lot of bounty gold if they can get this, but they got to get it first.
Yep, forcing the cross map I think is a really good idea. That's a great pulverize from Effort to get him out of the pit. So that is going to be the Baron going over to KT, and I think they'll only have to sacrifice Effort for the trade. And
all right.
DK do move back. They should be able to take this this dragon, but they didn't keep Showmaker there.
Yeah, they didn't get it right away. I don't think KT can stop them from doing it now, but they got the Baron. They got the bounty on Baron.
That's
now
something.
They can use Baron to get map control here. Hextech Soul, as we've seen in a few games, is not always an automatic win button. It is so incredibly powerful, and especially with a lead like this and a comp like this for D+. I think we can absolutely objectively say it is the better of these two objectives that were just traded. But I don't think KT could have fought the dragon. They kind of just were like, okay, D+ and Showmaker on the bottom side. He doesn't have TP. Realm Warp can only get you so far. They took a calculated risk. They were successfully able to take the Baron. And I think that given everything that's going on in this game right now, all the deficits, this was the best thing that KT could have ever gotten. And
yeah.
Now let's see what they could do with it. Not necessarily a whole lot here, but if this Baron gets them a little bit more map control, maybe they could get to Elder Flip territory. Maybe they could steal this win away. I mean, it would be
It's a
absolutely
6,000
crazy.
gold swing.
Yeah, and it's also
insane.
The later we get into the game, that gold difference matters less and less, as now Aiming has 3.5 items here, has his rapid fire cannon and IE in tow. He does a lot of damage. There's a lot of standing gold on the map to pick up here with these turrets. The bounties are gone. I mean, I'm not gonna E-word, but you know, maybe there's a world where KT have this incredible comeback in this game.
Or at least bring it to a competitive spot. And right now, that looks like where we're headed. As D+, gonna have to really find some angles here. As now looking to close in on Effort once again. They have so much vision here towards this bottom side. And Effort is allowed to go home. They're not looking for the count. And DK able to find their targets.
Look at the item that is, like, okay, 2 items I want everyone to look at right now for Smash. He has a Magi Soul Stealer.
Yeah.
And he's about to complete a death cap. He is about to explode in terms of, like, he's very ahead in this game. He's been very big, et cetera, 9-0-4, but he's not in his final form yet. He's about to be. He's going to be at his final form to defend this Baron and look for an Elder fight here. It's very, very scary. KT thinned out this gold lead.
Yep.
Have gone into a playable state. And all they really need to do is win one fight, and they can win this game. So D+ playing a little bit cautious here, which I think is wise.
And it's a 9-0-4 Mel. But
Yeah,
I think if
Death
KT managed to kill her,
it's a lot of money.
this could certainly be playable. Like you were saying, Aiming does have the consistent damage advantage. Let's see what DK can do. As they do look to get vision, they will be able to find it. As Ace in the hole onto Showmaker, he looks unfazed. As Shock Blast connects onto Perfect, or at least I think it did.
When you make these plays as KT, where you group up as 5 to try to pull out an inner turret, try to get jungle control, if you if D+ call you out and say, well, we'll match you on the 5. There's that death cap I was talking about. If they match you, you can never get away with Hextech Soul. You'll never escape. You will just lose the game. So KT making the right call to nope out immediately there, as there is no, like, you have to win every fight swimmingly now as KT. You can't be like, well, we lost one, we'll get out of here when you're that far up on the map into Hextech Souls. They need to be cautious, but still proactive. And they're walking that fine line decently well here. These next 2 objectives, the Baron and the Elder, we're going to see them actually commit to that 5v5. And D+ should, with the advantages they have right now, be able to get prio for the more critical objective, the Elder. We saw KT do that trade earlier, Baron for Hextech Soul. I don't know if they'll be so inclined versus the Elder.
Well, this is the thing. They might still be able to get away with it. That's the crazy thing. Is Xi now just trying to defend this inner turret. I don't think he's going to be able to do so, as KT just going to move up, take this one down.
I think one of the big parts that KT have identified in this game is we've seen so much of this, right?
Oh,
KT always pushing and Showmaker, you know, getting a turret in return. But until he gets that inhibitor, this gold doesn't matter that much. But I think they've identified this Jace is just not in this game. You know, he's on 3 items here, but he has to cut through a Cassante in team fights. And KT are just like, if you're going to play this 4-1, we win that. And yes, you'll eventually get our inhibitor, but it's going to take a long time. And we've slowed the game down. We are just farming it up here. And all we have to do is win one team fight. So we probably won't win that team fight. It's probably in the back of your mind like it's going to be really hard and we're not going to have prio. But at least we have a game of League of Legends here, which I didn't think we were going to get to.
It's kind of very impressive. If KT were able to come back, obviously it's not the same as, you know, the way that T1 were able to come back against KT, as that was 14,000, but this was up to very close to 12,000 gold the lead.
Look at
for D+ in the early game.
KT are like, you can have those top turrets. They're just letting Showmaker and Shu get turrets. Like, we're going to very early. They're like here for, you know, PlayStation 7 launch. They're like camped out outside. I've been waiting for 2 days. Like, they're at the Elder that early. Like, they're being interviewed by like the news company. Like, so why are you here? You know, at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 days before the launch. Well, if I get the Elder, when Elder comes out, like, it's going to change my life. Because they're like, you can have money. If we get the Elder, we can win this game with one big push. I guess that's the idea for KT. The problem is that the mid-outer is still alive.
Yeah.
But I think that's the game plan for KT. They're just like, okay, let them have turrets. Don't lose a fight. Don't get pinched in sides. Don't let the Rise Realm Warp be a thing. Just don't interact with any sort of rotational power. Don't fight into the smell with Hextech Soul. Just play for the big wins. And in 50 seconds, we're going to see if they can get that. I mean, they're on Baron now, 20 until it spawns. Like I said, though, this time D+ are not going to be letting them get that early.
Well, Realm Warp does come in. Cataclysm is a bit awkward there for Lucid, who takes the rocky way out, but is able to flag and drag himself to safety. Shiu here on this bottom side just looking to put on as much pressure as possible, and KT in an awkward position, but aiming is now doing a lot of damage. Halves the health bar of Korea, who was looking for an angle to go home.
And
does have Stand United.
He doesn't have his Realm Warp. They're just going to try to race this into inhibitors here for Baron.
Wait a second. KT is sort of caught in decision paralysis right now.
And now they're just going to lose part of their base and not get the Baron, but they will at least be able to muster up a contest for Elder. You have to think, or at least for KT fans, you have to pray as they do not lose that bottom inhibitor, which is very important, but the Elder is now spawning, and they have no prio whatsoever. D+ just ignored the Baron, put Smash in an area where he could threaten them if they were trying to take it, but now they've just kind of won the chess game, and KT did not make the call fast enough.
Yeah, perfect. Slowed down here by the Hex Tech. And there is Smash looking for a bit of extra damage. Haven't seen too much out of the Mel for the last, 15 minutes. Cease and desist from Cuz. He's brought all the way under that inner turret you were talking about before, and he just goes down to the Guardian Angel. The decent wall there does keep out a lot of DK as Smash not able to offer damage back, but when he does finally land a Q, it's just kind of ludicrous, the damage availability. And Cuz just dead. No smite. That should be Elder. Over to D+. They can move that towards a Baron.
I don't think they can stop this Baron. I don't think they can start this Baron KT. This would easily be stopped by D+. Why his stop was on the mind.
Oh dear, okay.
Wait a minute.
There's a Hex Flashes. I don't know whether that was exactly what he was looking for. Shiu just able to walk his way back.
What a miss there from Effort.
And the Elder now picked up for DK. Smash walking over Vision as BDD trying to take the Hex Gate out as there's Smash right there to greet him. And the Dragon comes down from the sky. Career actually able to be the one that takes down that kill. Now aiming, just trying to get himself out of here. And the teleport from Perfect is able to do that. But Effort definitely not going to survive this one. Showmaker and Lucid just getting to work on this inhibitor turret in the mid lane with almost Exodia. They don't have the Baron just yet, but they could take it if they wanted to. Perfect is pretty tanky as he does get an all-out onto Lucid, who is now all out of there. Down to the GA now. Cease and desist as Cuz has made his way back in. Showmaker does bring the Dragon down from the heavens as aiming doing a lot of work. And Lucid is able to get himself to relative safety. Smash, though, does find aiming, and the Dragon, once again, is going to get satiated. Perfect is also going to follow suit, you have to imagine, as Korea looking to try and help out, and there it is. DK will move to 2-0 in this series. A bit of a lull throughout the mid-game as KT were able to bring it back to a relatively competitive game state. But ultimately, in the end, it was DK able to make this one work. Back to that 11,000 gold lead as Lucid on the fountain, but happy to be there as the Nexus explodes.
Disappear in an instant. And in those final moments, D+ tested the theory of, can we kill these guys if we go in one by one?
Oh, God.
Them? And yes, the answer is actually they can.
Look at this gold lead, man. It looks like a roller coaster.
It does.
But this was D+.
가면 수 있는데 가면 수 있는데 달려 노플이야 노플이야 노플 잡았어 미드라인 야 여기 직권 와봐
시야 한 번만 얘들아 시야 한 번만
나 우리 미드 한다?
미드
시야 갈게 3번 돼
시야 한 번만 가줘 시야 가줘
버렸어
보는 건 어때?
얘들아 나 집 갔다 텔 탈게 끝낼 생각하자
야 천천히
어때 끝낼만해? 안 되면 바로 가자
끝나
안 끝나
쌈태 봐줘야 될 듯?
얘들아 바로 안 끝나
바로 가자.
올라 제발
제발.
봐줘야 돼? 봐주세요
나 텔되긴 하는데 텔 해보자 텔 찍어줄게
별로 안 좋아 나 별로 안 좋아 나
이거 테텔이야
잠깐만 캐틀
야 투망도 없어.
캐틀 옆을
나 1초 잡았다 미드
야 미드 야 캐틀 옆을
미드 해야 돼
믿어 가자 끝난 거 같아
다행이다.
야 10차 잘 끝내야 돼 얘들아 그냥 믿어
쉬워
한 명만